Siamese cats are perhaps best known for their sleek, distinctive appearance. Although many Siamese cats display the classic seal point coloration, on silver-gray bodies with deep chocolate points and vivid blue eyes, these elegant felines can also present in cream, lilac, chocolate, blue, flame, and even torty point varieties, among other coat patterns. Yet beneath their striking exteriors lie layers of history, quirks, and characteristics that set Siamese cats apart from virtually every other breed. Today, we'll share 10 shocking facts you need to know about Siamese cats, facts that go far beyond their famously pointed coats and piercing blue eyes. From royal origins and world-spanning espionage tales to unbelievable intelligence and legendary attention-seeking behavior, this deep dive will give you a newfound appreciation for one of the world's most recognizable and beloved cat breeds. The Siamese cat is one of the oldest known cat breeds to have existed. Originally hailing from what is now Thailand, formerly Siam, the breed can be traced back to at least the 14th century, where it occupied a revered status within royal courts. Ancient manuscripts, collectively referred to as Tamra male, the cat book poems, detail cats with dark points on their ears, face, paws, and tails, as well as striking blue eyes. These texts, housed today in the National Library of Thailand in Bangkok, date as far back as 1350 and depict Siamese-like cats living among temple priests and aristocrats, their likeness preserved in lyrical verses and illustrated scrolls. Local lore suggests Siamese cats were once guarded as sacred temple cats, tasked with safeguarding precious relics and royal treasures. Their association with nobility made them highly prized. Over the ensuing decades, dedicated breeders refined the breed's appearance, emphasizing elongated bodies, wedge-shaped heads, and vivid point colorations. Yet these modern Siamese always trace their lineage back to those ancient royal companions of Siam. Despite evolving standards and widespread popularity, the breed's venerable past remains a cornerstone of its mystique, reminding us that when we welcome a Siamese into our homes, we're continuing a centuries-old tradition of companionship and reverence. When it comes to Siamese cats, one might assume there is a single, standardized look. In reality, there are 3 distinct body types within the Siamese breed. The traditional, or Thai, Siamese harks back to the original royal cats of Siam. These felines exhibit rounder heads, broader cheeks, and more muscular bodies compared to their modern counterparts. Their eyes, while still piercing blue, tend to be somewhat rounder, and their ears are slightly smaller and more rounded at the tips. This type retains much of the classic image depicted in centuries-old Thai manuscripts, sturdy, regal, and slightly less extreme than some show lines. In contrast, the modern Siamese is characterized by a long, sleek, and highly angular silhouette. Their heads form a pronounced triangle or wedge shape, tapering from broad cheekbones to a narrow muzzle. Ears are set lower on the head and are exceptionally large and pointed. Their bodies are extremely slender and graceful, with legs that give the impression of almost floating when they move. This alien-like appearance has been selectively bred to emphasize drama and refinement, aligning with Western show standards established in the mid-20th century. Recognizing that some breeders and enthusiasts prefer to balance between the traditional and modern looks, the intermediate type, sometimes dubbed the Felicity or Classic type, emerged. These cats marry the muscle and rounded features of the traditional type with the elegant length and wedge-shaped head of the modern. The compromise aims to maintain health and well-being while still showcasing the Siamese's signature elegance. Perhaps the most visually iconic feature of the Siamese cat is its pointed coat. This remarkable pattern is due to a mutation in the gene responsible for the enzyme tyrosinase, which is critical for melanin production. The mutation is temperature sensitive, meaning that the enzyme can only function in cooler parts of the body. As a result, regions of the body that remain cooler, the tips of the ears, the face, the legs, and the tail, produce normal pigment, while the warmer core remains lighter, with little to no pigment. In effect, a Siamese cat's coat acts as a living thermometer. Because kittens are born in the womb at a uniform warmth, they start out as a pale shade, with no visible points. Once they enter a cooler environment and begin to regulate their body temperature externally, the tyrosinase enzyme becomes active in the extremities, and points slowly appear. Some kittens show their first signs of color as early as 2 weeks old, while others might not develop strong contrasts until closer to 3 months. It's not uncommon to see a Siamese kitten with ghostly, barely defined points, rapidly evolving into a dramatic, dark-masked adult by the time it's a year old. Beyond aesthetics, this temperature-dependent pigmentation can result in some fascinating variations. In very cold climates, a Siamese's points might darken more than expected, while in tropical environments, the entire coat can stay relatively lighter. Some breeders even note that if a Siamese spends extended time in air-conditioned rooms, the markings on the extremities become crisper and darker, enhancing that striking contrast. This dynamic relationship between temperature and color is unique to pointed breeds. Siamese, Himalayan, Tonkinese, and Burmese all share variations of this gene, yet no breed displays it quite so dramatically or recognizably as the Siamese. Among cat breeds, the Siamese stands out not only for its looks, but also for its extraordinary vocal prowess. Often described as talkative or chatty, Siamese cats possess a wide repertoire of vocalizations, everything from insistent meows to musical trills, yowls, purring groans, and even what can only be described as a short, conversational mew-wow call designed to elicit immediate response. This breed isn't shy about expressing its needs or opinions. Want to be fed? The Siamese will let you know loud and clear, perhaps switching from a plaintive meow into a staccato series of wah-wahs until food appears. Feeling sleepy? You might hear a low, rattling purr of contentment as your Siamese settles into your lap. Some owners report that their cats have specific meows for specific people, using one distinctive tone to address children, another to summon adults, and yet another to protest at being left alone. Their remarkable vocal abilities are rooted in both genetics and social behavior. Siamese cats, having evolved in temple and palace environments, needed to communicate across marble floors and large corridors, possibly contributing to their loud, resonant voices. Over hundreds of years of selective breeding, this trait has been encouraged, resulting in today's Siamese cats, who often feel compelled to chat with their human housemates throughout the day. Not only do these cats vocalize their desires, food, play, or simply attention, but they also engage in conversational exchanges. Owners frequently remark that their Siamese will talk back if spoken to, responding with a series of meows that almost sound like an opinionated dialogue. Some cats even develop a way of singing along when you play music or vocalize to them. This penchant for conversation makes Siamese ideal companions for those who crave interaction. If you work from home or spend a lot of time in your living room, expect a Siamese to perch close by, ready to strike up a feline chat at any moment. However, if you prefer a quiet, low-key companion, the Siamese's loquaciousness may prove overwhelming. It's not uncommon for these cats to greet arriving family members at the door with a full-throated, "Hello, where have you been all day?" They will let you know when they've decided playtime is over, when they want to sleep on your pillow, or even when they think you shouldn't be watching that show on TV. In short, if you want a pet that can carry on a one-sided conversation until the early morning hours, the Siamese has you covered. If there is one characteristic more famous than the Siamese's striking appearance and melodic meows, it's their desperate craving for companionship. Siamese cats form extraordinarily strong bonds with their owners, often following them from room to room, watching their every move, and offering affection that sometimes verges on Velcro cat territory. For many Siamese, being alone is a form of torture. Hours by themselves can lead to sadness, depression, or destructive behaviors born of boredom and anxiety. By nature, Siamese cats evolved as social creatures within temple communities and royal court circles, so their modern descendants still yearn for a household that feels just as engaging. If you leave your Siamese alone at home for a full work day with no human interaction, you may return to find furniture scratched, curtains shredded, or seemingly nothing amiss, only because the cat spent the entire day slinking around waiting for you to return. Even simple tasks like showering, cooking, or grabbing a quick snack can trigger plaintive meows and frantic attempts to climb atop your shoulders, as if saying, "Don't leave me out of whatever fun is happening." Many experienced Siamese owners recommend adopting 2 kittens rather than just one adult cat. Having a companion of their own kind can alleviate separation anxiety as they keep each other active and entertained. In fact, one longtime owner observed that her 3 Siamese work as a team whenever they wanted to raid the pantry. Because of their social needs, Siamese often excel in multi-pet households. They get along well with other cats, especially other Siamese, dogs, and even more exotic companions like parrots. in part because they view interaction and play as mandatory components of every hour. A busy family, a home office where someone is present most of the day, or a household with multiple pets tends to be an ideal setting. But if you're considering a Siamese and live alone or travel frequently, think twice. Among domestic cat breeds, Siamese reserve a special place when it comes to longevity. The average lifespan of a well-cared-for Siamese cat ranges between 15 and 20 years, with numerous documented cases surpassing that threshold. While most large breed cats tend to live shorter lives than smaller cats, the Siamese defies that trend, often reaching advanced ages with vigor reserved for its kittenhood. In fact, one of the most famous Siamese cats ever recorded lived to an astonishing 30 years old, earning recognition from the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest living cat for a time. That said, alert owners should remain mindful of breed-specific health considerations. Siamese cats are prone to dental issues, particularly gingivitis and periodontal disease, so weekly toothbrushing and biannual dental checkups are essential. Some lines also carry a higher risk of progressive retinal atrophy, which can lead to vision problems in later years if not monitored. Other potential concerns include cross-eyed vision in historically applehead or traditional Siamese, and occasional respiratory sensitivities due to their wedge-shaped heads. Real-world experiences highlight both the joys and challenges of caring for aging Siamese. One owner shared that her Siamese companion, Chloe, lived a vibrant, affectionate life until age 25, still greeting visitors and chasing laser pointers right up until her final days. Another owner recounted losing her Siamese of 9 years to megacolon, a serious intestinal condition that can affect cats of any breed. Despite that sadness, she maintains that no feline has ever given her as much loving companionship as that devoted Siamese. These stories remind us that while genetics set the stage, attentive care, consistent veterinary checkups, and a balanced diet can help your Siamese cat reach and even surpass those impressive age milestones. You might think this belongs in a spy movie, but the story of Siamese cats thwarting espionage is surprisingly true. Back in the 1960s, during the height of the Cold War, the Dutch embassy in Moscow experienced disturbances at night. Sure enough, behind the plaster walls of the embassy, technicians discovered dozens of tiny microphones planted by Soviet intelligence officers. These covert microphones, which had gone undetected by electronic sweeps, were intended to record private conversations taking place within the diplomats' offices. Keenly aware of the cat's agitation, the ambassador and his staff had the listening devices removed, preserving their diplomatic secrets and preventing a potential scandal. In essence, 2 furry Siamese secret agents had saved the day, their persistence ensuring the safety of sensitive information. This incident later inspired Walt Disney's 1965 comedy film That Darn Cat, where a mischievous Siamese kitten helps its human family foil kidnappers. While the movie takes liberties with the true story, replacing the Dutch embassy with a suburban household, the core idea remains. Many people assume that crooked tails and crossed eyes are simply cute quirks of the Siamese breed, but their origins trace back to ancient lore and genetics. If you review artwork from centuries ago, you'll notice Siamese cats, depicted with elegant kinked or looped tails and eyes that sometimes slanted inward. While modern show standards have largely bred out these traits, they remain part of the breed's colorful history. According to Thai legend, during a great war in Siam, Thailand, a sacred golden goblet was left unguarded in a temple. 2 Siamese cats, Chula, the female, and Tien, the male, were entrusted with guarding the relic while the priests marched off to battle. Chula, fiercely protective, refused to leave the goblet's side, eventually wrapping her tail around the base and sitting so close that her eyes crossed as she never dared look away. When Tien left to find help, Chula stayed, her devotion so complete that when they finally reunited, her kittens were born with tails bent into loops and eyes turned inward. Though this tale is more folklore than fact, it captures the Siamese's reputation for loyalty and vigilance. Genetically, the point coloration gene, the same mutation responsible for their blue eyes and darker extremities, is also linked to certain neurological quirks. In early Siamese bloodlines, the same tyrosinase mutation that caused partial albinism could affect neurological development, resulting in a higher incidence of strabismus, crossed eyes, and kinked tails. Over time, breeders purposefully selected against extreme cases, refining the breed to meet evolving show standards that favor straight tails and normal eye alignment. Today, crossed eyes are rare in show-quality Siamese, but occasional cases may still appear among non-pedigreed or rescue populations. Similarly, most purebred Siamese now have straight, whip-like tails, though minor kinks can still emerge, especially in lines that emphasize traditional Thai type. Interestingly, many kittens born with slightly crossed eyes see their vision straighten as they grow older. The neural pathways responsible for aligning the eyes often correct themselves by the time the kitten is a few months old. Even if a kitten retains a mild cross-eyed appearance, their vision rarely suffers significantly. They learn to compensate, using their peripheral vision and heightened hearing to navigate the world. While the association between that legendary temple guardian and today's sleek show cats may be more romantic than scientific, it underscores the Siamese's deep cultural roots and the enduring appeal of their quirky features. If you've ever owned a Siamese, you know that this breed prides itself on being your constant shadow and most devoted personal assistant, often to the point of appearing downright bossy. Once a Siamese selects their person, they make it abundantly clear that no activity of any importance happens without supervision. Cooking dinner? There will be a Siamese on the countertop, eyes trained on every stir of the pot, meowing for a taste test. Showering. Expect a plaintive cry from beyond the closed door, as if to say, "I'm right here, don't you dare forget me." Even routine tasks like checking mail, folding laundry, or scrolling through your phone become shared rituals as your Siamese insist on remaining within earshot and eyesight at all times. Their need to monitor your every move is not merely attention-seeking, it's an expression of loyalty and social curiosity. In their native land of Siam, these cats often lived in royal compounds where constant interaction with human caretakers was the norm. When they arrived in Europe and North America, that ingrained habit of ceaseless companionship persisted. Some owners describe daily life with their Siamese as akin to cohabiting with a very attentive toddler. One commenter recalled that their 3 Siamese work as a team to raid the pantry. This breed's supervisory nature manifests in more entertaining, and sometimes exasperating, ways as well. Many Siamese learn to open doors with a simple push or a deft paw twist of the doorknob. One owner's feline routinely opened the pantry and pulled out bags of treats. Another recounted her Siamese waiting at the bus stop each afternoon, precisely at the moment her child stepped off the bus, ready to escort them home in feline solidarity. Yet another Siamese mastered playing fetch with enthusiasm, chasing after balls and returning them again and again, insisting on uninterrupted play until exhaustion forced a break. Of course, their penchant for supervision means that sleeping on your stuff becomes a full-time job. Spare items on the floor, shoes, books, or paperwork often become prime purchase for a Siamese who wants to be sure you don't forget to feed or cuddle them. If you work from home, don't be surprised to find yourself answering emails with a Siamese perched on your keyboard, tail swishing impatiently as you type. If there's a meeting on the calendar, expect your cat to walk across your screen, punctuating every slide change with a well-timed meow. For all their bossiness, Siamese cats can also be incredibly affectionate. They greet guests at the door, often shouting a noisy welcome, and will proudly introduce newcomers by walking on their laps or pushing their nose to sniff out new scents. If you blink, your attentive Siamese will notice, and likely respond with a vocal reminder that it's snack time or that someone should be petting them right now. Ranking among the top of any most intelligent cat breeds list, Siamese cats are renowned for their quick wit, problem-solving abilities, and eagerness to learn new tricks. If you've ever attempted to teach your feline companion even a simple command, sit, come, or high five, you've probably discovered that Siamese cats often pick up on these instructions far more rapidly than typical domestic shorthairs. They watch your hands, read your body language, and figure out how to earn rewards with surprising alacrity. One commenter shared that her Siamese trio knows simple commands and have dog-like characteristics and love to play fetch. These aren't isolated anecdotes. Siamese intelligence also translates into strong observational skills. They can learn household routines, when the daily feeding bowls are filled, which cabinet contains treats, and the exact moment the front door will open for their afternoon walk. Yes, some do walk on harnesses. One proud owner recounted that her Siamese waited by the bus stop and knew precisely what time the child's school bus would arrive. This depth of awareness means that a Siamese is a master communicator. Their problem-solving prowess can surprise novices. Given a closed door, a Siamese will paw at the handle, circle around, and even leap onto adjacent surfaces to reach the doorknob. If a treat jar is locked, they might paw at the latch, then turn their attentions to the snack drawer, eventually figuring out how to nudge it open. Because they crave mental challenges, many Siamese owners invest in climbing towers, hide-and-seek games, and treat puzzles to keep their cats from turning to destructive mischief just to pass the time. Yet this high intelligence requires a commensurate level of engagement. A lonely or understimulated Siamese can resort to attention-grabbing antics. Some Siamese cats develop very specific dietary preferences. One owner noted that their cat refused all commercial kibble and canned foods, demanding only raw chicken gizzards or fresh cuts of meat. While raw feeding can be beneficial in helping cats get closer to their ancestral diets, it's crucial to follow veterinary guidelines to ensure balanced nutrition and prevent bacterial contamination. Although many people specifically seek out Siamese kittens from reputable breeders, countless Siamese end up in shelters, often surrendered because owners were unprepared for their energetic demands. One commenter reported rescuing a kitten 3 weeks prior. Some kittens are born with mildly crossed eyes, only to have normal alignment by the time they reach adulthood. Owners need not panic if their young Siamese's gaze appears off-center. This often corrects naturally as the neurologic pathways develop. If the condition persists beyond 6 months, a veterinary ophthalmologist can evaluate the cat to determine if there is any impact on depth perception or if vision therapy is needed. If your Siamese ever had a penchant for climbing your Christmas tree, you're not alone. One owner shared how her Siamese climbed to the very top of the tree and snoozed among the branches, ignoring delicate ornaments as if they were never there. This breed loves elevated vantage points and durable scratching posts, so secure trees well or provide alternative high perches, cat shelves, wall-mounted steps, or tall scratchers, to satisfy their vertical instincts. Many Siamese cats feel a kinship with children. Reports abound of Siamese toddlers cuddling with infants, singing lullabies, and vigilantly watching over napping grandchildren. Their gentle nature and love of constant supervision can make them surprisingly attentive babysitters. One elementary school teacher who adopted several Siamese over her lifetime remarked that these cats always seem to understand the emotional needs of children, comforting nervous kindergartners on the first day of school, and enabling shy students to open up through feline companionship. From their ancient heritage in the temples and palaces of Siam to their roles in Cold War espionage, Siamese cats have captivated humans for centuries. Their iconic pointed coats, governed by temperature-sensitive pigmentation, paired with those crystalline blue eyes, immediately set them apart in any room. But beyond their striking looks lies an extraordinary blend of intelligence, vocal prowess, and emotional empathy that makes them one of the most interactive, loyal, and, frankly, needy cat breeds you can encounter. Siamese cats demand attention, companionship, and mental stimulation. They'll greet you with a chorus of meows when you return home, follow you into every room, and supervise your every move as if you're living under their benevolent oversight. Their penchant for opening doors, raiding pantries, and mastering new tricks can be endlessly entertaining, but also somewhat overwhelming for those unprepared for their high energy and social needs. If you're seeking a low-key, independent cat who will nap in the sun for 16 hours a day, the Siamese may not be the right fit. But for anyone who wants a conversationalist, a devoted companion, and a partner in crime, literally, if they decide to team up with their fellow Siamese siblings to raid the snack cabinet, this breed offers unparalleled rewards. With lifespans stretching into the mid to late 20s, and occasionally even into the 30s, a well-cared-for Siamese can be your constant confidant, partner in play, and affectionate snuggle buddy for 2 decades or more. If you've ever wondered why Siamese cats hold such a special place in our hearts, or if you're curious about what makes them tick, now you know 10 compelling reasons that go far beyond their mysteriously good looks. Whether you're drawn by their regal lineage, fascinated by their mind-boggling intelligence, or simply searching for a talkative friend who will never let you feel lonely, the Siamese cat stands ready to fill your life with color, sound, and boundless affection. If you enjoyed learning about these incredible Siamese cat traits, be sure to subscribe for more feline facts, and share this video with anyone who will benefit from discovering just how extraordinary Siamese cats truly are.